And we are live on another edition of All In on NJIC Football. NJIC Football Game of the Week. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, how are you?
Good. Good evening. How are you?
I just feel like we just did this a couple hours ago.
We did do it.
We did?
Excuse me. Yep.
There's, by the way, first comment of the night from one of our sponsors, Lion Coffee, our good friend Patrick Wiltsey, live from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And Coach T will be getting, along both Coach T's tonight, will be getting some coffee delivered to them from the one and only Patrick. He is very generous in not only sponsoring us, but giving all our coaches, our guests that come on, we send free he sends free coffee their way.
Yeah. So Kona Coffee from Hawaii. It's brand again Lion Coffee, vanilla macadamia, chocolate macadamia, toasted coconut, regular decaf pods, ground coffee, beans. That'll be their choices.
You know what's
this
good too
evening.
with Sunday night, Monday night, film night too. You need you need to stay up
Well,
late. You have some coffee.
Coach McCourt was very excited last night. He said his wife was celebrating in the background because they have a little baby. So
There you go. Yeah. Hey, that works too. Baby
helps,
coaching, same thing. Mr. Kirkpatrick. Hi, Jen and Kurt. Kurt, triple duty tonight. Let's go Garfield as a former Boilermaker,
No,
Mr.
there you go.
Kirkpatrick.
Well, tonight's game of the week is featuring Garfield at Lyndhurst, and it is being played on Friday. So tonight we will bring on Coach T from Garfield and two of his players. Coach Tuero from Lyndhurst will be joining us with his three senior captains. But before we go, I want to mention some of our other sponsors as well. We, as you mentioned, Lion Coffee. We also have Red's Restaurant and Beer Garden, the Roosevelt Restaurant, Puppies and Tattoos, which sponsors our Top Dog segment featured on Tuesday evenings, where we make a pick for a player of the week,
which was Chris Rios from Woodbridge
this week, and Villa Italia as well, which sponsors our pick segment. So thank you to those sponsors for supporting not only our show but supporting the local communities and the teams.
Ernie Mays is checking in. What's up, Ernie?
Thank you for watching, Ernie. Just a reminder, tonight is Wednesday evening, 9:00, and we're doing our Game of the Week feature. On Tuesday evenings at 9:00, we cover the entire NJIC. We usually recap the events of the week before. We look ahead to the slate of games for the week. We pick our top dog, as I mentioned earlier, and of course the stat leaders from the week before.
And our weekly picks.
And make our picks at the end of the show as well. Our goal is to not only represent the NJIC and its schools, but highlight as many student athletes as possible in the conference as well for their efforts and hard work.
Okay. And again, let's talk a little bit real quick tonight. Again, we got Garfield 2-1, Lyndhurst 2-1. Big divisional matchup now. Again, we talked about this last night. Now we're getting into later on in the season where division matchups are going to matter for playoffs to get out of the NJIC, get in your division. Again, NJIC, the 4 division champions go to the playoffs. So this game, not only just game of the week because it's two good teams, two exciting teams, but a lot of playoff implications going on.
Division championship implications, absolutely. Well, we do have our first guest and his players in the waiting room ready to go. So shall I bring them in?
Absolutely. Let's bring them in.
Awesome. Let's get started here. Let me actually just make sure we get rid of that little logo so we can all see them clearly. Okay. Hi, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having us tonight.
Our pleasure. Let me welcome back, I should say, and let me introduce you and the players that you have joining us this evening. We're joined by Coach Tashiyoti from Garfield, and he is joined by Junior Philip Sadowski and Senior Adrian Jimenez. Hi, guys. Thanks again for being here.
Hello. Hi, how you doing? And Adrian's one of our captains. He's our only captain, actually.
Oh, well, thank you for that. And Captain Adrian Jimenez, senior captain. Awesome.
Coach, again, thank you guys. And to the two players, thank you guys for coming on. We know you have a busy week, a big game, and 9:00 for you guys to join us live. We really do appreciate it. Coach, I'm gonna start by saying this, that a lot of people, and I know I did, Jen did, We said, watch out for Garfield, beginning of the year, new coaching staff, a lot of talent there. And I'm going to say, watching your Dumont game, and listen, unfortunately, you guys didn't win that game. You guys played, a great Dumont team. They're doing a lot of good things. But just watching that game, remember what I said to you, Jen, is listen, this Garfield team is different. Like we haven't seen that in the past couple of years from Garfield. We know you're a very talented team. So, Coach, congratulations on the great start. Like I said, off to a 2-1 start. My first question to you is, what, in your opinion, why have you guys gotten off to a great 2-1 start?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the support. We're really feeling all the love over here at Garfield, and it really means a ton to us. I think it just starts with we have great kids, right? Like when I met this team in February and March, and we sat down and kind of talked about our goals for the season and where we want to go. I think the number one thing that we try to instill is being a process-oriented football team and not so much worrying about the results. So. As you said, week 0, Dumont was a great test, but there's, a senior-heavy group who has a ton of experience, and for our guys, like, we're still trying to figure out, the making sure our practice counts and putting in the right effort during all those periods and throughout our daily process, day to day, making sure, like, we talk a lot about, like, winning football games doesn't just happen on Friday night. It takes a full week to win football games, and we're slowly but surely trying to figure that out, and there's definitely a learning curve, but we have a great group of kids, a fantastic staff that shows up every day ready to work, and just like we talked about, the support of the community has been fantastic. Like, you couldn't ask for better support.
That's awesome. And my second part, Coach, what problems does this Lyndhurst team pose for you guys this Friday night?
Well, first of all, their offensive and defensive line are tremendous. They have a lot of size, a lot of experience. They got some big, strong boys up front, and they have the skill guys to match. I mean, there isn't a weakness on this team. Coach Tuero the coaching staff is doing a great job. Coach Tuero is doing fantastic things over there. First of all, he's an incredible person. He's one of the first coaches in the NJIC who had reached out to me when I got the job. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and his staff. They've had an incredible run there, doing great things in the NJIC. I know they made it to the state championship game a couple of years ago, and they have a great tradition there. But from A to Z, their program, their team is. They have playmakers all over the place, and we really have to be on our best game. We can't, we've been making some mistakes being a young football team, and fortunately for us, it hasn't really hurt us. Making those same mistakes going into this week, we won't be as fortunate. They're a team that capitalizes on teams' mistakes and punishes you for it, so we really have to be on our A game.
My question is for Adrian. Adrian, in the last 2 games, you guys have allowed only 6 points over those 2 games. So my question for you is, what's your defensive plan to maintain that defensive strength against a talented Lyndhurst offense? What do you guys need to do to maintain that type of defensive output?
I really think we just need to play fundamental football, go play by play, just worry about our assignment, alignment, and just let the pass go. That's all I really think that we have to do.
Philip, I'm going to come to you, right? So Friday night, like Coach says, you're a young team, but listen, you guys, hey, you're 2-1. You're going to be in a big environment, right? A big divisional game with possibly, I know Coach, you want to say the word, but playoff implications at some point, right? So how do you guys make sure you guys keep your emotions in check and just, hey, it's just a regular football game?
Well, I would say that the way that we keep our emotions in check and going into a game like this is to just take it day by day and kind of trust in the coaching and the game planning and the practices that we do leading up to the game, and just play our best brand of football and just do everything that we can to prepare for a team like this and to just execute when the game comes around.
Coach, we got a comment from Kenny Kirkpatrick. He's saying, good luck, Boilermakers. He bleeds purple and gold here in Maryland. He was a classmate of mine from Garfield, class of 93. So from Maryland, Garfield, you guys getting a little love out there.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kenny.
Coach, I'm going to come back to you for my next question. When we sent out our preseason questionnaire, I loved one of the quotes that you put in there in the season outlook, and you said that better people make better Boilermakers. And I was hoping you could elaborate on that point of emphasis for us and tell us, like, how's the team responding to that?
Absolutely. So that's, the boys kind of laughed at me in my first meeting with them because, they were expected to meet the coach and have all these X's and O's and football talk, and it really wasn't about that at all. That's a line that I stole from the New Zealand All Blacks, the rugby team from New Zealand, and that's their motto. They really talk about, like, before doing anything and even talking about winning games or any of that, their tradition is really built on the foundation of better people make better All Blacks, and then so I just kind of stole it from them, and there's a book out on them, and there's a documentary out on how their leaders sweep the shed after their practices and clean up, and so it was just my way of kind of telling this team, like, there needs to be a sense of pride and a commitment from the top down where senior leadership, showing the seniors how to lead the right way, and what we're trying to kind of do here at Garfield, and looking forward, the best way to kind of sustain the program, and wins and losses are things that they come and go, right? But to build a true foundation from the ground up, and we talk a lot about, like, being a K through 12 program, right? We have these same conversations with our junior Boilermakers too, and we really consider ourselves, with the junior Boilermaker program here, one big football program. Just to have this, the seniors lead the way for us, and there's no job too small. There's no job too small for any person on the staff, whether it's a senior, whether it's a coach, any kid in the program. And so they've fully embraced it. Adrian here, one of the reasons that he was named captain is because anytime we asked for equipment to be put back in the shed, Gatorade coolers to be cleaned during 7-on-7s in the summer, bottles to be washed, laundry to be washed after practice, Adrian was one of the seniors that stepped up. He didn't shy away from it, and I couldn't be happier with the way the team has responded to that.
That's awesome.
Coach, I'm going to come right back to you real quick. I know when we did the preview, you joined us and talked about a couple of kids and stuff like that. Anybody else you want to mention from the first 3 games? I know you got 2 of your better players, better leaders on with you, but anybody else you'd like to mention that have really stood out in the past 3 games?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, both of these boys right in front of me are absolutely great students too. Philip's a 4.0 student, and Adrian's above a 3.5. So, I really want to make sure that I mention that. But Jorge Rodriguez has been fantastic for us this year. I think he has about 6 touchdowns, including special teams. He has a punt return touchdown, a kickoff return touchdown. He's got a bunch of rushing touchdowns. Last week he had 2 passing touchdowns. So he's only a sophomore, and I'm so excited to be able to spend the next 2 years with him after this season. Our quarterback, Talib McCullough, is doing a tremendous job running the offense for us. This is not an easy offense in your first year to be able to run, and there's a lot of responsibilities that I've thrown at him, and he's got to be making reads at the line of scrimmage every snap, and he's doing a fantastic job coming in, studying the film. We also have some other senior linemen. Sebastian Rodriguez is doing a great job. We have sophomore Hubert Walczyk at DN that's also showing up every day. Noah Cruz, who I had on with us last time on the podcast, had 13 tackles last week. So we're not really in the habit of discussing stats, and I kind of had to refresh myself before I got on because I want to make sure that these boys get recognized for their hard work that they're putting in. But I could sit here all night and rattle off names. Seriously, it's so blessed to be here and be with these group of boys. We have about nearly 60 varsity athletes on the team, and we have a next guy in mentality. They're all showing up and want to do their part, and that's all we ask of them.
I got one more for each of the boys, if you don't mind.
No, he went off script.
I went off script, but guys, listen, you guys had a couple rough years, right, leading into this year. So, how does it feel now, right? 2-1, big game Friday night. New coaching staff. Like, how do you guys feel as a team? How is the school rejuvenated for this football program, Adrian? I'm going to go to you first.
It feels great, honestly. I feel really excited for this next game, especially because it has meaning to it, a lot of meaning, like unlike other years. And I would say a lot of students in our school, a lot of parents are actually showing up and giving support to us. Uh, and I would just like to say thank you to all of them because they help out a lot, to be honest. And I'm really excited for this game on Friday. I really want to change history, change the look on Garfield.
Philip, what about you?
I'm just kind of build off of what Adrian said, but it feels amazing. You know, as I'm going into my junior year now, so I played 2 years before this. We had a couple like rough moments. We've always had the talent, but there were just always missing pieces, and we couldn't get over that hump to just really have a great year. And I feel that now we have all the resources, we have the great coaches, everybody's doing their part, and I feel like everything's finally clicking. So it feels amazing to be in this position and have such a meaningful game on Friday, and just be in that position to just have a great year and just build off of that.
Jen, I don't know if you want to read that. We got a comment from one of our good friends, Rick Katwinka, also a Garfield guy, and he just wants to, I don't know if he just has a question for Coach, and he's just saying, can he's not sure of who the new coach in Garfield. So if you have a minute, Coach, can you just explain to Rich where you're from, where you coached, and
Sure,
how you're doing a great job now?
Well, Rich, hello to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Farshid Tashioti. I'm a math teacher here at Garfield High School. I'm so excited to be here, my first year. I spent about almost the last 10 years at Mount Olive High School, originally from Wayne Valley, and I kind of followed Brian O'Connor, who was my head coach my senior high school I played for. I had to stop, was with him at Wayne Valley for about 12 years and went to Hanover Park with him for a couple, and when he took the job at Mount Olive, I followed him there, and I owe him a ton, but so excited to be at Garfield High School and be here and just feeling the support of the community and truly feel embraced. And, a lot of people talk about, one of the first outsiders to be in the community, but I truly feel like I've been here forever with the love that we've experienced from everybody. So yeah, that's kind of my story. There's not much to it, I just, really blessed to be around a good group of hardworking kids that want to show up every day and get better, and that's really all I can ask for.
Coach, you just exude such positivity. I just have to say, I do. You can just sense it, and it's just such a nice thing. So it's really been a pleasure. Kurt, before we let you go, Kurt does have a special rapid fire, being a Garfield guy, right? And I married a Garfield guy, so I know all these places he's about to ask you guys about. So these are pizza places specific to Garfield. So I'm actually very interested for these answers. So go ahead, Kurt.
We're getting a YouTube comment from a Mike Sam saying, let's go. All right, guys, right now, somebody's hungry. They go to Garfield. They need a slice of pizza. Are they going to Rose's, Santoni's, Pizza Mania, La Bella, or somewhere else? Adrian, where are they going?
I would like to say Santoni's because I always like Santoni's. But I would tell you one underrated spot that I like a lot too is A&S Pizza in the Wawa Plaza, the mall, the shopping mall.
Okay.
I like that place also.
All right, Peter, what about you? Oh, Philip, I'm calling you Peter. I'm in the wrong thing. Philip, what about you?
I think the number one spot around here is Santoni's. I think it's great. I always enjoyed it, and I think that would be the first recommendation. It's always the one that people usually go to, but I think Rose's is great too. They have some great sandwiches. That's just a place that I always like to go to too, I think Garfield just has great pizza in general.
They do. They do.
There's so many spots.
There's so many.
So many of them you can't go wrong. I think they're all great.
We're getting a La Bella. Listen, I'm for La Bella.
I'm a La Bella.
I'm a Rose. I'm
La Bella.
Rose's La Bella, but I like them all. Coach, have you had the honor to get some pizza in Garfield?
I have. I've been making it a point. I haven't brought lunch to work with me one day this year because I want to make it a point since I've been coming here to try out all these spots. And you really can't go wrong with either. Santoni's is fantastic too. I love Santoni's, delicious. They sponsor. They do we do a discount fundraiser card that Santoni's is on, so we're very grateful for them. And A&S as well. They also do our discount fundraiser, and they've been providing a couple of our team meals already. So that's absolutely my favorite spot right now. A&S in the Wawa parking lot.
Nice.
We've actually been here. I don't even know if you know that.
Yeah, is that the little place that we had like the sandwiches, the soup?
The soups, that's the place.
I do know. I do.
Yep.
Coach and Philip and Adrian, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. Good luck, of course, this weekend and in the weeks to come. And Coach, I'm sure we'll be in contact. So thank you again.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us, and we really appreciate everything you're doing for these high school kids. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot.
No, thank you, Coach. That's awesome.
Our pleasure, guys.
Good luck Friday night, guys.
Good luck.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so there's the Garfield Boilermakers. Like you just said, Jen. I'm telling you, when I was watching that Dumont game, I just said it's just you could see the emotion in the kids. You know,
Oh,
they
gosh.
look different, like X and O wise, but just a totally different team. Listen, Garfield's always had talented kids. You know, they
Mhm.
have great junior programs there, and
I hate using the word. I hate when I use the word buy-in because I don't want it to be misinterpreted, right? Like that they're buying into something that they shouldn't. But like, I just love that coach, and I meant it at what we said. Better people make a better boy. He mentioned his student athletes' GPAs, like he's invested in these
Yep.
kids, and he also mentioned about not just his team, but K through 12, the
Yep.
entire Boilermaker program. And I just think, there's just so many good things happening there with Coach and those kids. And you could see, I just feel like you could see the mutual respect on the screen. So Coach T is doing a great job, and it's just really nice to see for all of them.
And Rich is asking, he's saying, I grew up on Labellas. It's pretty much the same. Yep. And then he's asking, when do they play Glen Rock? They don't. It's a little different now with the way the NJ side with the divisions, they kind of play like the one out. I mean, I'm not listen. They might eventually because we don't know. So they're not scheduled right now to play Glen Rock.
You know what? Well, I'm glad he said that. I'm actually
we got to see
because I'm gonna pull up their schedule. So I'm glad he said that because let's put this in here and so that he can kind of see the schedule a little bit.
Okay.
And you're gonna break down Garfield.
Yeah, listen, I mean, what they have shown so far, I mean, again, like the stats don't lie. Like defensively, they've been in every game. Again, they lost very late to a Dumont team who later on came back, defeated a pretty good Teaneck team. So that's their only loss of the year. They beat Park Ridge, which was a surprise because you come back and, Patrick Randolph and what they did this past weekend, put up 49 points, but Garfield wins a 13-6 game. They come back, they take care of Powell Park, 26-0. Listen, Garfield likes to spread you out, right? Spread you out, use like the backs, Rodriguez. Like they're saying, the kid is they're young, right? He's saying he's a sophomore. And listen, that's dangerous for the league because that kid's going to be, we're going to talk about another team that has a good sophomore too. But I'm saying, listen, the future is very bright, but that's what Garfield kind of wants to do. They like that little spread offense. They want to spread you out, get their guys in space. Defensively, listen, they'll attack you on defense. McCullough made a couple nice plays the past couple games, but so far, listen, they've been in that spread offense, the trips, and get that run game in there. So we're gonna see. They're gonna play a different opponent. Coach Castagnetti, we're going to talk about him, what he's going to do on defense. So get to some keys to the game where it's going to be it's going to be interesting, because listen, Garfield wants to get their athletes in space, but Lyndhurst has a lot of good athletes too. So again, we'll break that down a little more.
I do feel like the Park Ridge game for Garfield was a true measuring stick early in the season, and I think that win for them was really kind of almost we have arrived a little bit, and maybe sooner than expected, even, with the new coaching staff. But I think that it's evident that the kids are really responding.
And, like they always say this, right, on any level, whether it's any sport, college, professional, high school, that, like, oh, you got to go through some, like heartache, right? Heartache. You're gonna have some hurt before you can win, right? But listen, you got a new coaching staff. You're a talented team. Hey, why don't they can go in and say, like, why do I got to wait till next year? Why do I got to wait to 2 years? Like, why can't we win right now? You've seen teams do it. You've seen teams do it. So listen, not going to be easy Friday night, but hey, listen, when you're a talented team, you got talented running backs, talented quarterback. Like they said, you got players on defense. Hey, listen, they're going to come to play, and coach is going to get them ready. That coaching staff will get them ready for Friday night.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that said, let's bring in, we have Coach Tuero of Lyndhurst, and let's bring him and his 3 captains in with him. So they are ready and waiting for us. Let me get them all in here.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
How you doing?
And you know what? I'm going to say this. You just talked about Coach T saying about a coach caring about his kids. Right now, live, we have a coach that cares a lot about his kids too, and Coach Tuero. And that's even better about being a better football coach, and you're a great football coach. But what you do and how much you care for your kids, Coach, I would even say is you're a better person like that than you even are as a football coach. So
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
100%. That's one of the, I'd say that is one of the biggest bonuses for us doing this. Is we love highlighting the kids, but what you guys as coaches do for these kids on and off the field, and just the the role models that you are for them. It's just so nice to see. I always hoped that was the type of coach I was. I don't know if I was, but you guys, it's been so nice to see. So let me officially introduce you, Coach. We're joined by Coach Rich Tuero of Lyndhurst, and he's joined tonight by his 3 senior captains, Matthew Jarvis, Nate Boyd, and Shadid Smith. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how's it going?
Coach, I'll start with you. And we talked about this off the air. You guys had a tough opener versus Westwood. Listen, Westwood is a loaded program, championships the past couple of years. And hey, you guys were right with them. But like you said, you made some mistakes later on. So, hey, you get over that one. Last 2 wins, impressive win at New Milford, take care of business against Lodi. What would you say, what got you guys back on track?
Just belief in each other and the system and the program, man. Like I said, Westwood was, they're one of the top teams in Group 2 football. And the whole thing for us was kind of the realization for the kids, because we knew as coaches that we could play with anybody in Group 2, really. These kids never gave up. They we were down 14-0 early on mistakes, self-inflicting wounds. And, I think after the game, the kids kind of realized, like, yo, we could play. Like, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Westwood, because even if we didn't make the mistakes we made, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, we definitely would have won a game. Would it have been a much closer score? Absolutely. But the kids kind of realized, like, all right, we did this, we did this, and we still only lost by 3 touchdowns. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It was definitely, I think, a great experience for the boys and for our coaching staff as well. But hey, let's see what happens moving forward.
And second part, Coach, like we were saying, Garfield looks like a totally different team this year. A lot of confidence, some big wins. What are some things that impress you about Garfield?
Listen, they have a lot of good young players. They have a brand new coaching staff, which I think is a benefit to them. I think it definitely shows. One of their guys, Coach Santora, was one of my he was a linebackers coach when I was at Montclair State. I know him well. Frank Caccaro was an O-line coach at St. Joe's for years. I've known Frank for a long time. Really, really good guy. Another guy that's been on staff for a while is Chris Pacheri. I played college ball with him. He's another very knowledgeable coach and a great human being as well. I don't know many of the other guys, but I hear nothing but great things. I met the head coach Farshid at our media day. I actually gave him a call after he won his first game just to congratulate him. Welcome to the NJIC. But no, man, listen, it shows. I think they're a very good team, and we're going to have our hands full. We'll see what happens on Friday night. They're coming to Lyndhurst, and we'll see what happens.
My question is for Shadid. Shadid, I'm going to specifically talk about one of those young players on Garfield, sophomore Jarhini Rodriguez. He's rushed for 371 yards so far this season. What do you guys have to do up front to try to stop a player like that?
I believe we just need to do our jobs and just be ready for Friday.
I'm going to come to Nate. Nate, you guys have a great running game, right? Led by Frias and Cano. Everybody knows that. But in big games like this, you're also going to need to hit some big throws to win these big games. How important is it for you guys to hit some big pass plays Friday night?
I think it's very important because, running game can't do everything. We obviously have a great running game and great O-line, great coaches that coach them up, and a great running back. But we also have a great quarterback and a good receiving core, so I think that will be fine.
And I'm going to come to Matthew for this next question. Matthew, you guys are coming back home after your home opener, right? You were away. You were riding a 2-game win streak. Talk to me a little bit about what you expect, the atmosphere and the crowd to bring on Friday night.
Oh, I think it's going to be awesome. That game is also our 100th anniversary ceremony and also our first responder ceremony. So it's going to be a packed house, and the atmosphere is going to be great.
A couple comments real quick.
Yeah.
Mike is saying that kid Matt Jarvis is going to go places in college. I have a feeling. John is saying Coach Tuero the best. Rita saying hello from Wilmington, Delaware. Go Golden Bears. cool coach. Matthew Jarvis is the best.
Love it. Love it. Coach, I'm going to come back to you. As Matthew mentioned, it is your 100 years anniversary, I'll call it, of football in Lyndhurst. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about that milestone of 100 years and maybe a little bit about the history of the program. You know, we had Coach Voorhees and Coach Kerry on from Sea Caucus I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And to hear him just speak about the history of the program was amazing. I would hope with this 100th anniversary, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your program's history.
Absolutely. So I got to clear one thing up because it was a huge debate that I had to prove to a couple people, but it's not our 100th anniversary. It's we're actually celebrating our 100th season in the season.
Okay.
That was like a huge thing, and I had to fight the fight multiple times. But if you know, everyone starts from zero. It's not because we're counting the seasons. This is our 100th season. So our first season was in 1925, which starts at 1, opposed to like when you're born. You know,
right. Okay.
So this is it was like a whole debate. I even got called down to my principal, and I had to show her. I had to print out the Excel and show her, like, look, babe, we start at 1, not at 0. So yeah, and the cool thing about that is this year we're celebrating our 100th season. Next year we're celebrating 100 years of Lyndhurst High School as a whole, which is pretty cool. But I got to tell you, I'm so excited about Friday night. We got guys coming from all different generations. I don't know I think you guys are doing this from home, right? You're not going to be at the game?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Because Kurt, if you guys were there, you'd see a lot of people you knew, man. There's a lot of kids coming, a lot of adults coming, older folk. I am so excited to just show them what the Lyndhurst Golden Bears are all about. I'm telling these kids about it all the time. I just keep bringing it up. We have brand new jerseys that we're going to reveal on Friday night.
I swear to God, Coach, I was just going to ask you because I know you guys are like Oregon. You guys you guys come out with jerseys, all kinds of jerseys.
Hey, you ain't wrong. I fundraise, man. We fundraise well. You know, we have a lot of good support from the community and these parents. They do a lot for these kids, man. So we are lucky enough and blessed to be able to do that by our fundraising. Everyone assumes, you know, the football team just gets what they want, but the reality is we don't. The school hasn't bought us uniforms in years. We just fundraise for them, and honestly, it's just a really, really cool thing. But we're excited about that. They're actually a throwback to our original jerseys. Now, you know our varsity jackets. They're navy and gold. Somehow, some way, I don't know when, but it changed to royal blue and gold. These jerseys are navy, and they are pretty insane, man. I'm so excited about them.
Awesome.
Coach, I was just going to ask Coach. Oh, by the way, you talk about like community and stuff like that.
Sure.
You know, we got to mention 2 of our sponsors. One is he's in North Arlington now with his business, but he's a Lyndhurst guy. Charles LaCourte with Puppies and Tattoos.
Yeah.
So he's one of our sponsors. And Joe Villa now with Villa Italia also sponsors us. So I just want to give those 2 shout outs to both Lyndhurst guys.
Let me tell you something about Joe Villa, man. What he does for the kids, not just Lyndhurst High School football. I mean, in this town, what Joe Villa does for these kids is unbelievable. He is so giving. He wants no credit for it. He doesn't ask for any recognition, and he's always taking care of these kids. It's really, really cool.
The only thing we love Joe. The only problem is when I asked him, you were going to be a guest picker, he said, I'm camera shy. Even
you know, that's what, see that. But that goes hand in hand with what I'm saying. Like,
I know.
He don't want all the love, man. He just wants to help, and that's a pretty cool thing.
I'm gonna go to everybody on this one. I'm gonna start this with Matthew, though. Okay. You know, we talked about it last year. You guys lost a heartbreaker week 1 versus Beckton, which cost you guys a chance to get to the NJIC playoffs. So again, you have a lot of football left, right? But again, you have another game. You're gonna see Beckton down the road, but this is a team now 2-1 that could be in your way. So how much motivation, you know, was it in that offseason with that loss to Beckton? And now it's Friday night, you're here, right? Because now you're in a big divisional game. How much motivation was that from that last year for you guys to take, you know, throughout the offseason and even going into Friday night?
Yes, definitely it's motivation because, you know, it took away a chance at the league championship, a chance at winning the league and chances at winning the conference. So without having the ability to do that last year, it just motivates us to do it again this year and work for that.
Nate, what about you?
Um, I think it was a lot of motivation. I think it was a lot of motivation because, like I said, we lost a heartbreaker week 1 versus Beckton, which cost you guys a chance to get to the NJIC playoffs. So again, you have a lot of football left, right? But this is a team now 2-1 that could be in your way. So how much motivation, you know, was it in that offseason with that loss to Beckton? And now it's Friday night, you're here, right? Because now you're in a big divisional game. How much motivation was that from that last year for you guys to take, you know, throughout the offseason and even going into Friday night? I think it was good that we felt that last year because we know how it feels and we know.
Oh my God.
Get out.
Bye.
I mean,
Love the live TV.
That's fine.
my sister, but yeah, I think it was good that we felt that because I think that's what lit a fire under our butts the most, and we just know what we have to do this year.
And Shadid.
I definitely think that loss was needed. You know, we knew with the talent we had in that room last year, and just to have a loss like that really woke us up and lit a fire under us. And we're definitely carrying that motivation over to
Coach,
next year.
Coach, you want to add anything to that?
Shadid is a giant, so see how he's close to the screen. He's actually that big, just so you know. So he's actually this big. He's just that, he's a giant, and I love him, and that's it. That's all. I just see Shah, my man. I love him with all my heart.
Oh, that's awesome. Coach and Matthew and Shadid and Nate, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You guys have such a great, the 100 years, 100 seasons. I don't want to get it wrong.
Don't get me in trouble, Jen. Come on, man.
I know, I'm trying to do right by you. The 100 seasons. Like you said, your first responders game. You're back under the lights. Best of luck to you guys on Friday night. Coach, it's always a pleasure. We love having you and your players on. Good luck to you all this weekend.
Listen, awesome.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I got to say one thing. Hold on for me.
Thank you.
One thing. Kurt, you know Castagnetti, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. We argued for weeks about this. So much that we have a hat with our shield like this. See this right here?
Yep.
Okay. Joe was so adamant that it wasn't the 100th season that he took a magic marker and he drew 99 on it. That's Joe Castagnetti, man.
I can see him doing it.
He's out of his mind. He knows now.
How about? I was going to say, how about now? Has he admitted it now? Or no?
He finally was like, all right, you're right. But when I tell you we battled, I'm like, if you go in my office right now, I have a printout of the Excel from 1 to 100.
The Excel spreadsheet?
He drew 99 on his hat. He's out of his mind.
That's awesome. Guys, good luck Friday night. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. Coach, you do a great job with this team. Like we said, again, as great as you are as a coach, you're even better, like, caring for your kids and stuff like that. And I gotta tell you this, I love the locker room celebration. I always watch it when I get the message, bing, Coach Tuero is live. Let's watch it. Let's go.
Listen, it's a tradition that I genuinely love. And the best part is, like, when we're home, the little guys come in, and they celebrate and they see it.
Nice.
And it's like something they look up to. It's pretty cool to me. I love that. It's really good stuff.
That is awesome.
No, that's awesome.
So nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Good luck this week. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
I just want to get a couple other comments because
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt Coach. So a couple of things like Jonathan Simpson, hello, Jack Nowinski saying Vinny Mutz is another business in town that's a big supporter of the organizations and stuff like that. So listen, this is, again, I mean that about Coach Tuero. I mean, I've always known Coach Tuero, but from what his kids say when he comes on, you hear him talk about the kids, and we got that same fear from Garfield and Coach T. It's like we got a lot of that though. Coach Johnson.
Coach Mar. I mean,
Coach
honestly,
Mar.
Getting to know the coaches in this conference after doing this now for several years. I mean, it's just. It's so nice to see because those, as a parent, you're putting your son in a program.
Absolutely.
And to know that these are the men that are guiding them in more than just football and the life lessons. And I think that's what all of these coaches do, embrace the life. Of course, we want to win. We're here. You also want to teach your team when you work hard, good things happen. But, there's bigger life lessons here that these coaches all embrace.
And the thing I love too, and again, I know you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago and Coach, texting with us and stuff like that, telling us about the Westwood game. And listen, like he said, hey, listen, he could have got an opponent that a not so good opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went with Westwood, and we know what Westwood is. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
saying, one of the best Group 2 schools around. Right, every year they're in for a sectional championship, a state championship, and how those kids responded. And again, like he said, down 14-0. Listen, that game could have got away from them early. It didn't. They tied that game up, and like he said,
it was 14-14. 14-14. Yeah.
And he said, hey, we made mistakes, whatever, and how those kids bounce back. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think I picked them. I think I picked New Milford in the week 1 game
Okay.
versus them. And to go there on a Friday night, and they got the
Mhm.
Johnson brothers there,
Yep,
and
yep.
big running game, and they stepped up and they won that game pretty convincingly. And listen, they are where they are now. So listen, coach does a great job over there.
He does
He
do a great
does.
job. And why don't you break down Lyndhurst a little bit first? I'm just putting up their schedule side by side as you do that, so we can see where they've been and where they're going from here.
Yeah, like I said, hey, a rough start to the season, but listen, 2 big wins. They got a big one now in Garfield. And again, it's not a look ahead, right? Because hey, if you can get through Garfield, get to Powell Park, where we asked the kids, listen, it's all about Beckton, because they had to go from week 1 or week 0 last year in that game, and we were at that game, and it was
Mhm.
just, listen, either way, and listen, give Beckton credit, they won the game, but Lyndhurst kind of feels like they gave that game away, right? And that cost them a playoff run. And listen, who knows? Lyndhurst was a unbelievable
Mhm.
team last year. They had a lot of senior leadership. A lot of these kids, played, but they had a lot of kids that graduated that were big time players, right? So you don't know where they go. Could they have, give Butler a battle? They didn't know it, but hey, that's over and done. Listen, they can deal with that October 3rd if they can get there. And I know that was probably going to be Circle, but they got a big one on Friday night. Listen, this is a big game. This team Garfield, again, it's a dangerous team because, like I said, they don't know that they're young. They don't know, hey, they got confidence. They lost to a good Dumont team, 2 big wins. Listen, they're going in to win on Friday night. So listen, it's going to be an interesting game.
Anything else you want to say in a breakdown of Lyndhurst?
Listen,
before we
just
move on?
again, Lyndhurst is it's actually kind of funny. It's a little different style than Garfield, right? Like offensively, they're more of the 2-back set. They want to run the ball, play action. We didn't talk to coach about Bellinger, again, first year quarterback, and obviously he had his brother there. Now he's at the has the reins, and listen, they're a run first team. They got 2 great running backs with Frias and Cano. I mean, they're home run threats, especially Cano. They do, they want to play action off of that and get Bellinger on the nakeds, on the outside, making his plays. And again, you throw to Boyd, to Jarvis, and that, that skill group out there. But they want to run the ball, right? They're going to want to run the ball. Same thing with Garfield. And it's going to, the defense who stops the run better is probably going to win that game on Friday night.
All right. Well, speaking of who's going to win that Friday night, before we give our picks, let's get your keys to success for each team.
I love this part.
I know you do. Let's bring up Garfield first. So
Okay.
Garfield's keys to success, right? Okay. First, you're saying that they need to make Lyndhurst drive the length of the field.
Yeah. Again, when you have home run threats, Frias and especially Cano, it's boom. It could be a 60, 70-yard run right there. Garfield just has to listen. Lyndhurst is going to move the ball. They're a great rushing attack, right? Cano is an unbelievable player. He's one of the best, he's one of the best backs in this league. So he's going to get his yards. It's just, you can't give him the 60, 70-yard touchdown run. Let them, hey, if they're going to score, let them score on a 14-play drive. That's fine. Shorten the game, right? Garfield wants to shorten this game. I think the more high-scoring game, I think Lyndhurst is it's in Lyndhurst's favor, right? So just just don't give up the big play. If they're going to score, hey, go on a 14-play drive. Or it's even better. Go on a 14-play drive and don't let them score. Kill clock. That's how, that's going to be Garfield's advantage.
You mentioned both teams' affinity for running the ball. So your second key to victory for Garfield is to make Bellinger beat them from the pocket.
Yeah, Bellinger's very good, like I said, on the run, on the nakeds, on the bootlegs and stuff like that. Everything off of their play action, they'll do, they do a lot of counter out of 2 backs, and, now they're going to naked off of that, right? So, keep him in the pocket. Like, that's the thing. It's the hardest thing to do with a high school quarterback. And again, he's still younger. He's doing very good, right? I mean, he was 7 for 7 one of the other games, but it's a lot harder to stay in the pocket, step up in the pocket, throw to the outside. It's not easy to do, especially when you're younger. Listen, this is going to be the biggest game he's been in, right? Like, this crowd's going to be crazy. So keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside. Don't let him be a dual threat and run the ball. If you keep him in the pocket, and again, hey, he makes the plays, you tip your cap and say, hey, you're better tonight. But I would keep him in the pocket. When they throw the ball, don't let him get outside. Keep him in the pocket.
All right? And your third key to victory for Garfield is to give Lyndhurst different offensive sets.
Yeah, listen, Coach Castagnetti does a great job, like Coach Toro was saying before, right? And it seems like Garfield's like a spread team, right? They want to go even, they're going to go trips, and they're going to run with their, they're going to run their, five. They basically want to spread it out. And we're going to say, okay, we're going to play 5-on-5, right? Listen, Coach Castagnetti, if that's causing an issue, I could tell you right now, he's not going to, stay in a cover. Listen, he's going to lock up, put 7 in the box, and now those 5 have to block 7, right? So now you're going to be at a disadvantage from the offensive side. So, give Lyndhurst a little look, right? Like, listen, I always say this to you all week. Your practice on, this is what they do right here. This is what they do, your program, right? Come out and give a little look. Garfield's got a nice little combination with Rodriguez and Paisley back there. Hey, play both of them in the backfield, like put a tight end in, just give them something that they haven't seen. And that, again, not that Lyndhurst can't adjust, but it's going to slow you down a little, like, whoa, like, what's this? What I'm saying? What is this? Not that they're not going to be ready for it, but you're just not going to be like, if it's this, I'm attacking. Slow it down, see what they're doing. So that's, if I'm Garfield, I'm just giving them a nice little look. Again, put in a tight end, put the 2 backs together, just something different that, again, because if Garfield shuts that, if Lyndhurst is going to shut that down, you better have something to go to. That, so that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. So your 3 keys for Garfield. Let's move on to your 3 keys for Lyndhurst.
Yeah.
Your first Lyndhurst.
I'm like fired up from that. I
know.
This.
I can tell. I can tell.
My first one is tackle.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, your first key to victory is to tackle Rodriguez and Paisley, especially in space.
Yeah. Again, they want to spread you and give these 2 great backs. I'm going to call them great backs. They're, Paisley's more of a bigger back. Rodriguez is like, a shiftier guy, but listen, if you're in spread, that's what you want to do. Spread them out, get it 5-on-5. It's me versus the linebacker, me versus the safety. He has to tackle me in space. These kids are good, right? So just make sure you wrap up. Don't give them, again, they're going to get some yards, but don't give them the big play. Don't give them, when it's a one-on-one tackle, gang tackle, and Castagnetti is going to get that. Run to the ball, get all, 11 hats to the ball. But when you have to tackle this kid one-on-one, both of these kids, you got to make sure you tackle. You can't have missed tackles. That's what these kids from Garfield have been doing in the first 3 games, causing missed tackles, big runs. So that's number 1. Tackle them in space.
Number 2, play action off of heavy run sets.
Again, Lyndhurst wants to run the ball. And why wouldn't you want to run the ball? You got Frias, you got Cannell. They're home run backs. But, listen, Garfield ain't going to sit there. Garfield's got, again, a new coaching staff and attacking defense. They're just not going to sit there too and say, hey, we're going to let you run for 6 and 7 yards every time on the ball. What are they going to do? They're going to bring people up. They're going to try to stop them. And that's my next key. They're going to try to stop them on early downs, right? Coach Rotieri does a great job over there. Hey, get them in, look like a run set, play action. Now you got Jarvis. Now you got Boyd. Now you got those guys one-on-one because, hey, we're trying to sell out. We're trying to stop the run. I'm telling you, Lyndhurst is going to have chances very early in this game to hit big-time passes over the top because Garfield is going to sell out to try to stop this running game. Bellinger has to be able to hit this. Again, and I like it out of a play action. Make it look like a run set. Boom, one-on-one, whatever. One-on-one route. Hey, my best versus your best. And we got to tell her, hey, go out there and go make a play.
All right. And your third and final key to victory for Lyndhurst is to win the first downs defensively.
Yes, defensively. Again, Garfield, they want to spread you to run it, right? Why? They're better players are Rodriguez and Paisley, especially Rodriguez. They want to get the ball in that kid's hands, right? But you know what? You want to put Garfield in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, right? If you put him in if it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, hey, that's a lot of times. That's still 2 down. Listen, you're going to go, hey, you're going for it on 4th down. You need 2 yards. I'm going to, as long as the ball's not inside your 20, go for it. Like you don't want to do it. You want to make it to where, listen, Garfield has to pass. Not that they can't pass, but listen, what do they want to do? They want to be a run for, they want to run first, right? So take that right away. Make them, hey, no situation. And now Castagnetti can go, hey, listen, you want to go even? You want to block with 5? I'm sending 6. I'm sending 7. Make them throw the ball. So key, get them in, 2nd and long, 3rd and long.
All right. Well, that is your keys to the game.
I'm out of breath.
I know. Well, that was a lot. You got emotionally invested. Yeah. That was good. some other week 3 games that we have on the slate here. The Hasbrook Heights at Hawthorne, also 2-1 teams. We've got who are some of the other ones we said we're kind of looking forward to.
Pagoda
That was
St.
one of them.
Mary's, right?
Yeah.
Because
Pagoda
can Pagoda stay undefeated?
3-0, yep.
Can St. Mary's get out of that 3-game slide where but all 3 games they had a shot to win that game. And it's a big game for Pagoda. Pagoda now, again, Woodridge right now looks like the favorite now in that division, but again, things could change. So,
well, speaking of the undefeated, Woodridge, as you're saying, is undefeated at 3-0. They'll be traveling to Weehawken. Glenrock, also 3-0, will be hosting Pompton Lakes. Rutherford off a bye week, 2-0.
And again, why that game is that's a payback game. I remember last year watching that game, and again, it was 32-20, and that game wasn't even close to 32-20. They scored too late. So, I mean, Waldwick put it on them last year. So you talk about circling a game. That game was circled.
Are you ready for our picks?
I'm not ready for. Well, we're gonna be before we do our picks. We had a guest picker last night. You can explain who our guest picker was.
Our guest picker was Coach Lasella, former Lyndhurst football assistant coach, part of the Lyndhurst coaching staff, currently head volleyball coach at West Essex, and a student while I was a teacher at Fairfield, who was a student there as well. And he did a phenomenal job. Coach Tuero recommended him. He did not disappoint. Not only was he knowledgeable, he was so thorough. So what did you want to show a little?
So when we asked him for his pick, again, Lyndhurst guy.
Yeah.
So let's show everybody what his pick was last night. Just give me a second while I bring it in.
Next one is our game of the week, which is Garfield at Lyndhurst. So Kurt and I won't pick this one. We're going to save it for our live broadcast tomorrow, where we actually really break down the game. But Coach, who do you have in this matchup? Do I have to ask?
Obviously, I got to go with Lyndhurst. It's going to be a special night there. It's the 100th anniversary of the football program, and this is kind of the game where they're celebrating it. So they're going to, the place is going to be packed. It's a great environment for high school football. I do kind of like where Garfield is heading, though. Maybe I think Lyndhurst wins by multiple scores, but I think Garfield will put up a good fight. Their new offensive coordinator was actually one of my high school coaches at West Essex, Greg Vaccaro. He's a teacher in Garfield and has kind of bounced around. He was the receivers coach at St. Peter's Prep a couple years ago. And he's there now. So, I know that he's a great coach, X's and O's wise. And, they're trending in the right direction, but they're not, I don't think they're going to be up to speed with this Lyndhurst team, especially on a special night they have this Friday.
All right.
Okay, so that was Coach
little
last
recap
night.
of Coach Lasella.
Yeah, so he's going Garfield. I'm sorry, he's going Lyndhurst. Let's go Kenny's pick.
Kenny, one of our Kurt's co-hosts on the K&K show, also a Garfield alumni, is going Garfield. Are you ready for our picks?
Let's go.
Okay, I want you to look at my sheet. Did I write mine down? Are my initials there? Do you see my initials? No,
I don't see your initials.
I saved that. I saved it. I was going to make a game time decision. This is always so hard. Always really hard. We have 2-1 teams, right? I feel like we have the battle of like the youth running backs kind of on both teams here, right? We're having like breakout seasons for their teams. We have Lyndhurst playing with a lot of emotion back under the lights. It's a great atmosphere on Friday nights. We've been there. Listen, you know more than I do, but I've been there as well multiple times. They're playing for that 100 seasons. They're playing with the first responders game. They're going to have, I love how Coach Tuero said, like, how many people are coming back, because that's always something you also want to instill in your players, right? That you're playing not just for, yourself and even this group right now, but how you represent the program. And when you have players coming back and keeping up with the team, it's just such a special thing about that program. But then you've got on the flip side, you've got Coach T over at Garfield, and it is it was evident from game one when we watched them here, the difference. I mean, we were like, these kids are flying around this field. And when you have kids responding to you in that way, like that is something special. And I can see it. You can see, I said, I could not say it to Coach. You emits positivity and you could see his kids are on board. This is a tough one. I never pick upsets. I don't.
No, you're Jenny Chalk.
I'm Jenny Chalk.
You
I
are
am
Jenny Chalk.
I am. I'm gonna go with Garfield on this one.
Okay.
So this might be my first up. I'm like Kenny. Kenny's like upset king. I think I'm going with my first upset ever with this one. Yeah, big. I think they get it done.
No, listen, that's a good pick. I mean, listen, Garfield. I told you when we watched the Dumont game, we watched it in the sports room up here, and I just said, Jen, this Garfield team just looks different. And I said, I'm telling you, I love this coaching staff. You could see how fired up they are on the sideline. The kids, like you said, flying around. And you look and it's like, hey, you know, they let that game go. They had that game, right? They basically had that game. They lost in the last minute to Dumont. And you're like, well, you know, they lost to Dumont. Then Dumont comes back and beats pretty good Teaneck team. The next week, Garfield goes and they beat Park Ridge, and we all know about Patrick Randolph there, 13-7, 13-6, I think it was. And they come back, they beat Powell Park, right? But they're going into a different animal on Friday night. They're going not only to Lyndhurst, which is, we always talk about hard places to win, right? We say Woodridge is hard to win. We say Heights is hard to win on a Friday night. You're going into Lyndhurst on Friday night. It's just not a regular Friday night. It's, like you said, 100th anniversary. Coach said
it's not 100
anniversary. Whatever, 100
seasons.
Yeah, 100 seasons. You said, you know, Coach is saying about everybody's going to be there, right? It's, you know, everybody from Lyndhurst who's played there, who was associated with the program, with the school, is going to be there. Listen, that's not going to be easy for Garfield. Listen, it might not be easy for Lyndhurst. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Lyndhurst to do that too, right? Because
especially
listen,
for the younger players,
they got to win that game, right?
Yep.
Listen, I think Lyndhurst has a lot of advantages in this game. I do. I think they're a little more experienced in some places. Again, you got Cano is one of the best backs in this league. But I'm going to say this, and you know, I've talked to a couple of people about it and said Garfield next year is going to be dangerous, very dangerous. But why wait till next year, right? Why? Seriously, they don't know any different. What do they know? They know now that, listen, with this coaching staff, we can win. And you know what? Where am I from?
You are from Garfield.
What do they say? Once a
Boilermaker, always a Boilermaker.
I'm going to Rose's Pizza on Friday night. I'm going to get Rose's Pizza. I'm going Garfield. I'm taking my home team. I'm going Garfield. I think this is going to be a great game. Saying it with a smile.
We did not.
Well, I'm saying it with
by the way.
I'm saying it with a smile.
I hate when you make the pick after me, and it's like I had your pick. You know, like
you
know,
did.
I didn't accuse you of stealing my pick, like you would accuse me.
No, I'm going to take Garfield. So Kenny's saying send me a slice in the mail.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Garfield with the upset. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think these are two great teams.
Yeah.
And but I'm gonna take Garfield in the upset.
All right. Well, there you have it. I want to thank our coaches, our Garfield Lyndhurst coaches, and their players for joining us tonight. Everybody for watching, commenting in. We really appreciate it. Good luck to both teams. Again, this is I hate having to even pick a team on this one. It's so hard. This is the hardest part.
Got to do it.
I know you got to pick someone. So
all right, we'll see everybody Tuesday night.
Yep.
And then we'll get our game of the week for next week. But listen, thanks again. Thanks everybody from Garfield. Thanks everybody from Lyndhurst. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the sponsors. And we'll see you
on Tuesday.
Have a good one.